Welcome back, and today we'll be talking about some more fan-made games because, well, you guys love them so much. And, well, I found an awesome game, but we'll be talking about it last because, well, gotta save the best for last. But let's hop straight into some fan-made Rayman games, starting off with some great two-dimensional platformers. First off, let's talk about the few games I was actually able to play. The first being The Impossible Rayman. This game is an endless runner where you change direction, jump, and roll. The controls are a bit wonky and hard to get a hold of, but I really did have some fun with it. The main problem though was that the tutorial was probably the hardest level besides the one where you control two Raymans, but I couldn't see the second Rayman, so I had no clue where to make him go, and he just kinda kept dying. But for a small, quickly put together minigame, it's really fun, but if you want to play something like this, I would just recommend Rayman Jungle Run or Fiesta Run on mobile devices because those are published by Ubisoft and are designed so well. The last one I was actually able to play was Dark Magician's Reign of Terror, which was in the style of Rayman 1 and played really well, though either I really sucked at Rayman games or this game is just way too hard for me. I couldn't beat a single level without dying, and there are 3 different levels to explore. 4 levels if you can actually 100% all of the other ones, but there is no way I'm going to be able to do that when I'm dying every 5 minutes. Overall though, it controlled really well, the levels were interesting, and I really enjoyed it, even when I was dying, which is always a good thing. And yeah, those were the only ones I was actually able to play. But don't be worried, there are plenty of more where that came from, with great gameplay videos for me to talk about. And some of them are really weird, so let's talk about those ones first. The first of these weird games is Eclipse, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually think looks pretty good, even though the art style is extremely weird. All the characters, as you can see, are made of circles, and I'm not really sure if you're playing as Rayman or not, but he has all of Rayman's moves, flying with your hair, throwing your fist, and all that kind of fun stuff. It's also animated really well, which you can see by the characters grabbing onto ledges and pulling himself up, which shows me a lot of love and care was put into the game. Sadly, I can't play it, so there isn't much more I can say about it other than I wish I could play it, but let's move on to the weirdest Rayman fan game of them all. Yeah, what you're looking at isn't Doom. It's Rayman Doom. That's right, someone took the Doom program and made a mature Rayman game out of it, making new levels, art assets, textures, characters, and I love it. It may be super cheesy or dumb or whatever you want to call it, but I want to play this game because shooting those dumb pirates in the face would be the best thing ever. On top of that, just like Doom, there is an awesome rocking soundtrack, tons of secrets, and even more cool enemies to fight. This is another game I would just really love to try for myself. But now, let's take a few steps away from the weird fan-made games and move on to the games that actually resemble Rayman a bit more. The first of these being an actual expansion to the first Rayman game, which is more of a hack than a fan-made game, but hey, who's judging these things? And I think it deserves to be on the list. The game includes 40 new levels and 6 new worlds, with a ton of new content to add on to the end of the first game, which is a great idea. I love when people take a game and continue onto it with either hacks or by making their own game because it gives them something to work with and it usually turns out well. And from what I can see, it's looking pretty great. The next game, like the original Rayman, is Rayman Returns. And to tell you the truth, I don't know too much about this game, and the only information I can find is on his YouTube page that says, "This is level blank of my fan-made game Rayman Returns." So I don't really know a story or a premise of the game or anything else about this game other than it looks like Rayman 1. Like, I could just be showing you Rayman 1 footage right now and you'd never tell the difference. See? Here are 2 videos of Rayman 1 and Rayman Returns. Can you tell me which one is which? Yeah, I bet you can because you're super awesome like that. But let's move on to the next game because I really have nothing left to say on this one. But hey, this game here is a bit more interesting, seeing that it uses its own art style, though it still uses many things from other Rayman games, including music from Rayman 2. One thing I did find cool about it was some of the mechanics implemented, like the fact that you can ride on the giant grapes like in Rayman 2, and there's teleporters that bring you into the background and back to the foreground, making a more 2.5D experience, something that we don't see in many Rayman games, so it looks like it could be a really fun game to try out. Now these next two games are more like Rayman 2 when it comes to the art style. The first game is Rayman DX, which obviously takes from Rayman 2, using the same music, enemies, icons, and more for the game, but hey, that's not a bad thing because Rayman 2 is the bomb, and a 2D version of that could never go wrong. And from what I can see, this looks like a really interesting game, and I love the art style. But besides the fact it's a 2D platformer, there's nothing much else I can say about it really. The next game though is really interesting, since it's kind of a mix between Rayman 1, 2, and 3. By this I mean it plays like Rayman 2, uses a Rayman 1 art style, but also uses Rayman 3 power-up abilities. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? And I find it really awesome. The game is titled Razorbeard's Revenge, so I would assume that it takes place after Rayman 2 and Razorbeard is back to get some payback for you kicking his butt in the second game. But really, just like the past few games, there's almost nothing I can say about this game, so let's move on to the main part of this video, what I'm here to talk about, and that is Rayman Revenge of the Dark. Rayman Revenge of the Dark is a 3D fan-made game done by Absolution, and oh god does it look beautiful. I may be wrong, but I believe the game is designed in the Crysis engine, and we can see a huge amount of levels already close to finished. My favorite of these being Picture City, a level made completely out of pencils, and I think it looks really awesome. There is also the Dream Forest, Memory Realm, Gemstone Ruins, Music Mountain, Ice Volcano, Temporal Palace, and Canyon of the Lost. And fitting to the title, a lot of these levels are really dark. Maybe a bit too dark, but even while they are super dark, they still look really beautiful. The story of the game takes place after the first game, but before the second, and tells the tale of Mr. Dark's most volatile creation, exactly 1 year after the evil sorcerer had been defeated. The game includes a dark version of Rayman, and we can already hear some voiceover stuff for the game.
At this point in time, there is no redemption.
You incompetent slave! I don't care!
This is one I really wished I could have tried for myself, but hey, like most of the 3D games I find, I usually don't get to play them, and they're just really videos I can look at. But we can always hope that one day it will come out, or we can even just get a demo to try out, who knows? Sadly, a lot of these projects are dead, and that's why I wasn't able to play most of them, but some still shine through, like Revenge of the Dark, which I really hope will come out one day and we'll all be able to enjoy. But till then, there's still more franchises we can check out fan-made games for. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, my channel is supported by my Patreon. If you wish to help support my channel, click the link that's appearing now. I do have to give a quick shout out to some of my awesome Patreons who are Rob LaLiberty, Andre Droulard, Harry Martin, Ian Selch, Thomas Bethel, and the YouTubers Possum Gamer, Cray Tray, The Game Plank, and After End Media. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here right now. Thank you so much.